I got this product. I don't know, I'm interested in it. Will's telling me that this is the world's smallest Ultrabook. That's right, laptop. They're calling it an Ultrabook, like as if it can replace your laptop. But look at the size of the box. It doesn't make any sense right now. I mean, that's one hand. It's called the P2 Max. So we got a little bit of paperwork inside the box. It does look like a full-featured laptop based on this particular paperwork. Oh my God! It's like a shrunken MacBook. That's it. That's almost netbook territory, but they don't want to call it that. They're very clear. This is an Ultrabook. Okay, all right, let's look around the outside. Headphone jack, dedicated analog, USB connector. Over on the other side, there's even a Type-C port, another traditional USB, and what is that guy? That's got to be a display port of some kind. You might want another display. You want to get down to business. Now, it's also metal. It's made out of aluminum here, so it's cold to the touch. What are they selling this thing for, Will? $700. Okay, so that's no joke, price-wise. Does it have some Intel in it? Does it have a real chip? An Intel 8th gen processor. So it's a real thing. What? That's a laptop. Holy, and somehow the keyboard doesn't seem that small. Ooh, quick brown box. Ooh, for something this tiny, it beats typing on a tablet. It beats typing on a smartphone, that's for sure. Now the trackpad is minuscule. A Canadian toonie. You've never seen this before in most parts of the world. It's a coin, and you can tell the trackpad is roughly the height of that coin. The directional buttons here are kind of tiny, but then again, they're also tiny on a lot of other laptops that are nowhere near this tiny. Front-facing camera, webcam, down here, so it's gonna get the up-the-nose shot. For something with this form factor, it's impressive they packed it in there. Now, how big is this screen? What is this, 8 inches, 9? What is it? 8.9, so it's right around 9 inches. That would take an adjustment period for certain. In a tight airplane cabin or something, you gotta get that email out right before takeoff. It's imperative. It's an emergency. Your corporate America depends on it. You can pop that baby out. No one even notices. You got the tray table. You may be able to pull this out in circumstances where a bigger laptop would just not be suitable. The only thing in here is a Type-C cable and a power brick. Now, granted, the power brick itself is about the size of a smartphone power brick. So that's pretty cool. Like, no big power brick to travel with. These things could practically go in your pocket. Along with this, you're traveling light, that's for certain. So what is the actual weight of this, Will? 1.4 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. It's lighter than an iPad. iPad Pro 11-inch, I think, is a pound. So it's right around iPad weight. But when it's folded up, it's actually more compact. There we go, GPD. You gotta appreciate companies like this. They're just like, we're gonna do something different. Now, something else I noticed, the way the hinge operates, like you can see, there's like, it goes further than you might expect on a laptop. Look, Jack, are you seeing this? You open it all the way, and it becomes a teeter-totter. Do you know what a teeter-totter is? No, you don't. You don't even remember, okay? You and your brother were on the teeter-totter once upon a time. Look at that nice little, that's a cute little display. You can't say cute, Jack, about many products these days. This is cute, wouldn't you agree? Give me a little nod there, Jack. There you go. That's a cutie patootie, as they call it, as he says it. Jack says that every day he comes in. You can't just, it can't be strictly novelty. You can't be like, oh, it's cool, they made the world's smallest. Like, I'm glad somebody did it. Same time, I'm sitting here thinking, like, imagine being trapped on this every day. Imagine this was your everyday life. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Jack. It's a tablet with a keyboard, Jack says. I don't know why you'd listen to him, but that's what he says. Now, I will say, I'm hearing the fan kick up a little bit. A little... You can hear it for yourself. One of the drawbacks, of course, about a tiny little form factor, you're going to have some heat, especially you're talking about Intel 8th generation. This little button up here on the top, I'll show Jack, right there, is a fingerprint scanner. Actually a pretty nice one, so I registered the fingerprint. Let's go ahead and test it out. Look at that. It's fast. This is also a touchscreen. Ooh, maybe you don't even touch the trackpad. I will say, though, you get into that weird situation of the thing kind of doing that. If you touch near the top of the display. What is the resolution of this display? Is it 1080, Will? What? 2560 display? Holy, that is an enormous number of pixels for an 8.9-inch display. But it looks like the watermark on the actual concept images from Let's Go Digital. These, on a recent patent filing from IBM, who as you know, basically out of the hardware business, sold the laptop ThinkPad department to Lenovo. This seems to be fairly common at this point, especially in super thin laptops where the speakers fire actually at the desk rather than at you, and then they kind of reflect off of that flat surface. So they're on the bottom side here, these two little grills. I think you're gonna wanna plug headphones in my opinion. Okay, so Will is telling me that the display is 300 nits, so 2560 plus 300 nits, which is decent. You pick 8 or 16 gigs of RAM when you order it up. It's got a 256 gigabyte SSD. All right, so it's got an Intel M series processor in it, so it's not the fastest that you can find in laptops. But again, that's not really why you're picking up something like this in the first place. Anyone who gravitates towards this level of portability is probably looking for an email machine, something that they can watch video on, interact with multimedia here and there. They're not using this for content creation and so forth. I like the idea of options. I don't think it's a daily thing for me. $700 for kind of a supplementary computer, maybe an extra computer that you have, that's a few bucks. The fit and finish, the materials, it's actually more solid than I expected. It's a cool thing. It exists in the world. If you're Inspector Gadget, you probably want it.
This episode is sponsored by LG. LG just launched the world's first IPS 1 millisecond monitor, G2G, which means it takes 1 millisecond for a pixel to go from one state to another. Other brands are doing 1 millisecond for panel response time, but this results in negative side effects like brightness degradation, flicker occurrence, and disabled adaptive sync. It's a 27-inch GL850 and a 38-inch GL950G. And now you can add speed, picture quality into your gameplay. There's also a social media event going on where you can have a chance to win the LG gaming monitor as a prize. Visit lgultragear.com for details. Okay, so the one that I'm using here is a 38-inch curved ultra-wide QHD Plus monitor. It has a resolution of 3840 by 1600 and it's a nano IPS display. It also has NVIDIA G-Sync and 144Hz refresh rate. Now it also includes RGB Sphere Lighting 2.0. Thanks again to LG for sponsoring this video. If you want more details, check the links down below.